Hi, and welcome to the psychology of human behavior. In this video, you are going to learn what gaslighting is, some examples of gaslighting, what to do about the abuse. What is gaslighting? Gaslighting is when a person or group of people question their sanity, reality, or memories. Gaslighting is a form of psychological abuse. People who experience this feel anxious, confused, and can't trust themselves. Gaslighting examples. It is hard to detect gaslighting, because it usually happens gradually. The person might use these techniques to gaslight someone. Ordering. This is when someone makes a person question their memories. By telling them things like, "Are you sure? Because you don't have a good memory." Diverting. This is when someone changes their focus to questioning a person's credibility. By saying something like, "Did your friends give you this crazy idea?" or, "You are always getting these crazy ideas from your friends." Withholding. This is when someone doesn't engage in a conversation. They might pretend not to understand someone, so they don't have to respond. They might say, "What are you talking about?" or, "Are you trying to confuse me?" Stereotyping. They manipulate a person by using stereotypes of a person's age, race, gender, sexuality, or nationality. They may say something like this to a woman: "You don't know what you are talking about. Stay in your place and clean this house," or tell someone young, "You don't know anything, you are still wet behind the ears." Denial is when someone pretends to forget what happened. Like denying that they said something or did something. Trivializing. This is when someone belittles or disregards a person's feelings. When someone has a valid reason for concern, they may tell them they are being too sensitive or overreacting. Gaslighting is common in an intimate relationship and when socially interacting with people where imbalance of power is. This is abusing a person who is receiving this behavior. Relationships with an intimate partner. The abusing spouse might accuse a person of being crazy or irrational, so they can isolate them and make it easier to control them. For example, they may constantly tell them they are forgetting things until the person starts to believe it is true. Medical gaslighting. Medical gaslighting is when a doctor or nurse dismisses a person's concerns about their health, because they assume they are mentally ill. The doctor might say, "It is all in their head." Political gaslighting. This is when a political figure uses lies or manipulates information to control people. For example, they may hide things their administration has done or use controversy to change people's attention away from important events. A child and parent relationships. An abusive parent might use gaslighting to control or shame their kids. They might tell their kids they are being too sensitive or acting like little girls, if they are boys. Racial gaslighting. This is when people use gaslighting techniques to a group of individuals, because of their race or ethnicity. For example, they might say an activist is being too emotional to undermine their message. Institutional gaslighting. A company or organization might hide or deny information to employees about their rights, or if the person who discovered this issue says something, the company makes them look incompetent or unstable. Signs of gaslighting. People who are receiving the gaslighting abuse don't think they are being abused, because they might be in a position of authority or they may feel like they rely on them. A person experiencing gaslighting might find it difficult to make decisions. Become withdrawn or not sociable. Always second-guessing their self and feel confused. May feel like they are too sensitive. feeling a loss of hope, joy, self-worth, or incompetent. Defend the abuser's behavior. Always apologizing to the abuser. Lying to friends and family, so they don't have to make excuses for their abuser. Gaslighting can cause depression, psychological trauma, and anxiety. Causes. A person uses gaslighting to gain control over somebody. They learn how to gaslight by watching others. They may feel like they are entitled or their opinions matter more than others. Some of the gaslighters also have personality disorders like narcissistic personality disorder. People with narcissistic personality disorder have long-term symptoms like lack of empathy, a need for attention or admiration. They believe they are special or better than everyone. How to respond. Gaslighting has an impact on your mental health. People who are experiencing gaslighting make sure to gather evidence to remind yourself that they are not imagining things. Later on, if you decide to pursue legal action, the evidence can be used against the abuser. These are some ideas on how to gather the evidence. Taking pictures. This can help remind themselves that the memories really happened and they are not imagining things. Keeping a diary. This can help them track events, times, dates, and details of things that happen. Keeping voice memos. Use a cell phone or a voice recorder to describe events in a fast way. When something happens, you can record the events in your own words. You have to check your state laws on the recordings to use them in court. Make sure any evidence you gather is private and erase the search history off of your computers. This is vital if you live with the abuser. You can have a second phone or voice recorder. Send the recordings to a person you trust, so you can delete your copy. Hide your evidence in a secret location. Create a safety plan. This includes ways to protect yourself from the abuser's physical and emotional abuse when trying to leave the relationship. A safety plan includes a safe place to escape to, a plan to safely leave an abusive situation, contact details of someone you can call on for help, self-care activities to help you cope. When should you seek help? Gaslighting occurs with other types of abuse and tends to escalate into physical violence. If anyone thinks they are being abused by a family member or a spouse, you need to seek help. They can contact abuse organizations for advice and help with creating a safety plan. If you experience mental impact from gaslighting, you can find help from a therapist that has experience in helping people in abusive relationships. If you know someone who is in immediate danger of domestic violence, call 911. If anyone needs advice or support, you can contact the National Domestic Violence Hotline 24/7 at 800-799-7233. You also could have a live chat at thehotline.org or text them by texting LOVEUS to 22522. There are many other resources available, including helplines, in-person support, temporary housing. In conclusion, gaslighting is a type of abuse that causes somebody to doubt their sanity or perceptions. This usually takes place in a relationship or social gatherings where there is a power imbalance. If a person is experiencing gaslighting, they may become withdrawn, anxious, confused, or defensive about their abuser's behavior. The person might not realize the behavior is abusive. People that experience gaslighting can find a way to document proof of the abuse and create a safety plan to protect themselves from harm. Organizations or mental health doctors may be able to help someone to leave or recover from the abuse. I hope you found this video helpful and informative. If you did, let me know what helped you out. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, so you can be notified when I post a new video.